other partner. And the other thing is you're giving up your authority, and then they don't believe you.
I know you said something in our initial interview that I thought was really important that you had learned. You said that you need to be your own person.
Yeah, you have to be who you are. You can't copy somebody else. You got to do what feels good for you.
There's one more thing, Marty. You had said that one of the things that you felt was one of the either best or worst, you didn't say which one it was health.
Was health?
Was health, illness in your family or relationship? Or
I was always worried about my health. I was sort of a worry wart. And I've always had a high blood pressure problem until recent years when I don't. But I still have health problems, and I'm concerned about it. But one of the most important things in my life is my concern about Israel. In the 1947 or 48, when Israel became a nation after a UN vote, there was a great celebration in Chicago. I was 16 or so. I was in high school, and the celebration was held at the Chicago Stadium. They had people from Hollywood and Jewish leaders all over the country to celebrate that event. Now, when I was that age, 16 or 15, one friend of mine, his name was Howie Katz, and me, we had the same feelings about this. And we decided that we're going to go to that celebration, even though it was in Skid Row, which is where the stadium is. We didn't have a car or anything like that. So we took 4 or 5 buses and so on to get there. And the place was full with adults. It was hard to get in. So we had to stand like in the hallway and listen to all the speeches and the music and so on. But from that day on, both he and I, we used to talk about Israel all the time. 3-4 times a week we would walk down Lawrence Avenue in the evening. We used to start at Kedzie and Lawrence, and Lawrence, and walk west to Central Park and back.
Crawford.
Not that far.
Oh, okay.
To Rudish's.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
So anyway, and we talked, and most of our discussion was Israel and all the wars that were going on and so on. And I stayed that way to the present day. Israel is my main concern. And I'm involved in AIPAC, which is a lobby for Israel in the United States. And I'm concerned about the Jewish people all over the world. I study it from when I was a kid. I used to collect stamps and read geography, commercial geography. I knew the capitals of every country in the world,
oh my!
of every state in the country, and their main products, their population and everything. And also how many Jews lived in each of these countries. Even Somalia and places like that where they had 5 or 6. And I still follow. In fact, in my room there, I've got the Jewish populations of every country in the world and every city in the United States. And my concern is the Jewish people. Like in this massacre that happened yesterday in Connecticut, I looked at the names and I said, there's one Jewish boy in that group. And I kept thinking about him. His name happened to be Posner. And because whenever I read some tragedy in the newspaper or something, I'm always wondering, are there any Jews involved? Mm-hmm. So
Well,
you may say I'm 100% Jewish.
that's good. we are almost through now, and I want to thank both of you very much for doing this. And I think we especially have to, thank Mike for pushing this.
Right.
And any last few words that either of you would like to say?
Well, I can say that I've always been interested in Israel. I've belonged to a labor Zionist organization called Naamat, which promotes welfare, help in the welfare of women and children and families in Israel and sometimes in the United States. And I've been a member of this organization, I want to say close to 40 years. They do wonderful work. I'm also a member of Hadassah. And my focus generally, in our social life generally, is around those organizations and what they've done for the people, for the Jewish people. So I am very concerned as well.
Good. Okay, thank you both very much. It's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure to have David here with us too.